gentlemen, I'm here with Tanner. How do you say your last name?
Petch.
Tanner Petch. Associated with anything or just Tanner? It's Tanner Industries.
Tanner for right now.
Tanner Industries. And we're looking at, oh my God, this game. Okay, what's the name of this game?
House of Flesh and Blood.
Yeah, I was even uncomfortable saying that.
Oh no, I've heard House of Bone and Mead. Any permutation of that's vaguely horror related, I've heard. So it's all right.
So as you can see, everybody, you're watching it. It's a particular profile of a pin. Talk to me about the conception of this game and the idea that you had.
Sure. So it started before I made this game. I've made a game called Trashland that's been at quite a few shows.
I've seen Trashland.
Yeah, unfortunately I wasn't able to get it out here this year, but Trashland's a game I love and love working on, but at the same time that's a game that is logistically difficult to get places.
Okay.
So with this game, I wanted to see how small I could make a game and still have it be like a fully featured, modern, rule-setted game. But I also wanted a game I could throw in the front seat of my car and take places, which is exactly what I did with this one this year.
Unfortunately, we can't see, we got a lot of it under this camera, but you really have to see this in person. It's got interesting legs. It looks like a creature.
Yeah. Well, so part of the other thing was I wanted to do a horror game for a straight horror game for a long time. And so when I started this little game, I combined those two ideas. It wasn't like a specific, making a small horror game or making a horror game small. They were just two separate ideas that I wanted to bring together in the same thing. And so when I was first working on it, I didn't have a specific kind of horror that I wanted. I didn't have a specific kind of horror I wanted to do. So I was originally conceptualizing it as like a creature-based game where the game was itself a creature. And so that's why I did the legs like that, was I wanted it to look like, some little thing that was going to be stalking you or something. And so it's ended up being a haunted house game, but I wanted to keep the legs as part of that design process. Because they're not the kind of legs you could do on a regular size game. So not something I could bring up again in another project, probably.
Okay, so is this all fast and mission pinball framework and stuff like that?
Yep.
So tell us, what's the story of the game? What is Idea trying to do?
Yeah, so what it is you play as a character who's woken up in the spooky house with no memory of how you got there, and you're trying to escape it. And so it's such that there isn't a creature in the house, but the house itself is a creature. So you're trying to, make it through the house, trying to prevent you from escaping and make it out with all your limbs. Because that's going to be one of the mechanics, is if you do poorly enough at modes, you'll lose a limb, and that'll make the future modes harder.
So everybody who knows me knows that I am very squeamish. Tanner, you're killing me right now. Let's talk about the elephant in the room,
Sure.
which is the ramp that goes outside the game.
Yeah, so that was some of the elements of this playfield came from a mini playfield for a different project I was working on that never materialized. But I like some of the elements, like the pop bumper right in the center.
Yeah, that's dangerous.
Yeah. Well, I want this to be a hard game, which it's pretty hard. But so and that original version of that playfield, it was in a game, so it had space for a loop like that to go outside. But when I was designing this as a standalone game, I was trying to squeeze as much design space as I could out of the 16 by 19 inches or so that it is. And so I was like, you know what? This thing's going to be small. Why the hell not?
Isaiah, can you make that shot? That's hard.
He has a few times.
He has, yeah. If Chad's seen it, you guys.
Well, one thing you'll notice is
Look at that.
well, the flippers are at a very non-standard angle. They're very steep because the main shots in this game are far. So on normal flipper, or like on a normal angle, you'd have to get them right on the tip. But this way, you can make both the ramps to the left and the loop on the right pretty easily.
Part of the problem with an expo, though, is that it's very loud and it's hard to be. I would actually really like to have like an intimate moment with your game.
Yeah.
That sounded weird.
No, it's well, like I mean, if you look at the artwork, I work in a pretty particular style that's very heavily influenced by comics and cartoons. So the level of like goriness and whatnot it's not as disarming as if it were super realistic, but I still want this to ultimately be a game that's actually scary. So like right now it doesn't have a headphone jack, but that's one of the things I want to do is be able to, have nice headphones and really be able to experience it that way, as well as a normal sound system. But I have a cool musician working on the sound for this.
You do? Okay.
We're excited about, which is Jeff Dodson, who is...
Oh, you're working with Jeff?
Yeah,
oh my God.
This was before he had been doing sound for, I'm super excited. His work is fantastic, and I can do a lot of stuff, but music and sound are two things I can't really do by myself.
And Aaron and I were just talking about, once you're if you hit a point in your homebrew where you feel like, okay, I am not a composer, and I would love music composed, then did you reach out to the homebrew community, or you just discovered?
No, he completely just reached out to me on Instagram, and he was like, your games are really cool, do you need a sound guy? And I was like, what a coincidence, I do.
So this is your second game?
No, this is like my sixth game.
Wow.
So the thing, like Trashland and this game are the two most comparable to a modern game, like with full rule sets and lots of things to do. The earlier games I made were much more kind of arty games where you would play them once or twice, and that would be the entire experience you would need.
Okay.
So I've made other games, but they weren't like as complex or necessarily like as long lasting for a player as these games.
This is a longer playing game.
Well, so no, I guess more like the rule set. Like it's gonna have a wizard mode, like 8 modes, that kind of stuff. I do want this to be a shorter playing game, which is the opposite of what I just said. But like, I want you to be able to get to the wizard mode in like 20 minutes in this game versus playing Infinity Quest for an hour and a half or something.
Yeah. What was the hardest part about this? Whether it be, I don't want to say if coding was hard, but conceptually to get in the game, what was more difficult?
So the thing that's still the hardest for me is the rules. Like designing engaging rules for a game is something I think I've gotten a handle on at this point. Like even though the code's not super far for this game, I have the rule set pretty closely planned out for what I want to do. But like it's one thing to design a fun layout, but it's another. Just a second here.
Go for it. Hey, watch that language. That's okay. I've seen JJP games do that.
But because it's it's the sort of thing though where like you can make basically any game good through good code.
Isaiah's getting into it, so we only have Isaiah in the shop, but that's okay. We can hear you.
Like that's the thing is. Writing the code in such a way to encourage the player to do what you want them to do, to make it a little more dangerous, all that kind of stuff that makes an engaging game. So, I don't know. You can make a game that's super basic and still really fun for the code, but like to make a code set that actually sticks out has been something I've been learning for a long time.
This might be a little more challenging too because it's a smaller playfield, so you don't have so much to work with.
Yeah.
So. Yeah, I feel you. You kind of gotten yourself into But how do you feel about where it's progressed so far?
I think it's good. I think the rules I have planned are going to be really fun, and I think it's going to come together well. Because besides what the layout is and just shooting it, the tilt's not hooked up, so you can shake it a little bit. There you go. Which sidebar, the tilt is actually in the top of the head there. So in the back glass, that's the tilt bob. Because it's easy to shake this game around, so I wanted you to be able to gauge what you're doing. But yeah, so the rules for this game, what it's going to be is you'll see there's a hex or a pentagon on the apron there. And so there's 5 rooms that you can progress between left or right in this game. And you do that by shooting the left or right side of the ramp to the left. And so...
Why do you think I brought Isaiah to play?
Oh, that was a nice combo. But yeah, so each room's going to have a little slightly different rule set for how you score points, and it has a different mode. And when you complete all 5 of those modes for each room, that's what qualifies the wizard mode.
Is one of the modes like go in a room and then hit the pop bumper 17 times?
Yeah,
Because that's dangerous.
Yeah.
That's 17 dangerous shots.
so not just the pop bumper, but one of the modes is hitting the slings in the pop bumper, because you can hit the slings by hitting the pop bumper, which is kind of a dangerous shot, but I don't know. I want the modes to be dangerous in a way that you can complete them by getting a minimum number of shots, but then, you know, you can keep going if you want to get more points, but they're hard modes, so it's kind of a little, that risk-reward calculation.
So you are a designer. I mean, if this is your 6th game, you are a seasoned designer. Do you have more designs kind of ready and stuff?
God, I have a list that's, you know, this long of games I want to make eventually, that are all weird games, because that's what I'm interested in. One I've been thinking about recently is the elusive combination video game pinball machine, because, you know, there's Baby Pack and Granny and the Gators and Caveman that are all terrible. But they're terrible for different reasons. Like Granny and the Gators and Baby Pack, the pinball is pretty good on both those games, but the video games are terrible. Like, it's the worst version of Pac-Man that exists.
Pretty much.
And so, like, having it be where the video game and the pinball are both worthwhile and, like, interlock in a way that's interesting has been... that's a very long-term project versus more quicker ones I want to do, but it's one I've been thinking about recently.
Awesome. Well, Tanner, thank you so much for bringing your game. The game is called House of Flesh and Blood.
Yes.
Amazing on it. It's very stylized. I love it.
Good plan, man. Thank you, man.